So for this one, again, microphone's jacked up, so this is just going to be a voiceover until we can get out with the new microphone. But up in Alaska, we're on the CBR 1000. All right, we're doing a rip out. I'm trying to remember where we went, but it was a good little ride. Got our boy Cody Co up here on the, I believe that was a 2008 CBR 1000. Kid can rip, I'll tell you that right now. That guy will take you on corners in a 6R like it ain't nobody's business. But yeah, we saw cruising around tonight, going for a nice little rip, and just a little chit-chatting and see how things are going. Anyway, so this was back when the CBR was still up and running. Literally, it was probably upwards of around a month after this video was made. Went out to the garage to go start it, and it just died on me. So, come to find out after being in the shop for half a year almost, and that's not exaggerating, there's no compression in the motor on a 23 CBR. Now, with that being said, it seems like a lot of these Hondas do not mesh well with the BT Moto tune. Just future reference and warning to anyone that owns a Honda, just be weary of the BT Moto tune on Hondas. Alright, as you know, Will the Kid, he's been through 2 or 3 motors, and it was related to the tune that blew his motors. I got a buddy up here, like I talked about in prior videos, that also blew a motor with his BT Moto tune, and it is the tune that has caused it. Whether BT Moto wants to admit that or not, that's on the company. But and as for the CBR 1000 RR, this one right here that we're ripping on right now, as well also caused issues. So there's plenty of other places out there that you can get your ECU tuned. All right, you know, there's Two Wheel Dyno, more Mafia, and all those guys. But just know you will have to send that ECU in to get flashed. But again, to each their own. I've reached out to BT Moto, but they say that they're not responsible for it. So it is what it is. But sorry about this camera angle. I know when you go to tuck, this thing really kind of loses good view. But yeah, back to the tune issue at hand. You know, BT Moto does great with, say, BMW, as well as does great with Ducati, stuff like that. But I strongly would just advise you to stay away from it with Honda. All right, I know too many Hondas that have just had issues with the tune, at least BT Moto wise anyway. So yeah, just be mindful of that. But anyway, this is up here in Alaska, between Fairbanks and North Pole. All right, we got the boys up here. We go by, we're not really just a group, just try to get as many guys out outside of town, and that's where we'll do our rides. We try to keep the in-town riding to a minimum, because too much traffic, you end up pissing off the cops, and just makes for a bad day. Plus, if you get outside of town like where we're at now, certain areas you'll get some good twisties in there. There's some good turns and some good twists that you can get out and rip, and then there's some straightaways that you can just open up on and get some good roll races going. You got Cody here on the 2008 CBR, and then you got another buddy of mine, Norm. He's on the 22 CBR RR, and of course that motor's down now. He's the one ripping the Aprilia, the 23 Aprilia, I believe. RSV4 1100. But here's me with my little 1000 trying to catch up to those two. It's always a good time though. But with this bike here, we're sitting with, if we can ever get the motor fixed or drop a new motor, I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet, but with this one, you got sprint filter, acro headers, race fit slip-on exhaust, chain adjusters, grips, tank pads obviously. It's got BT Moto velocity stacks, pair valve delete, obviously a tail tidy, and the aftermarket front turn signals as well. And then I kind of pick and choose when I want to put my Rizomo mirrors on. Sometimes I put them on, sometimes I don't. I'm just not a big mirror fan, which has obviously got me in trouble in the past, but we're not going to go there. So, yeah, Brodies. You know, as we're sitting here cruising, kind of going through some turns and ripping by each other, make sure you give the channel a subscribe and a like and a thumbs up, alright? Let's get this channel built up. We'll work on getting more and more content out there, better content. Once we can get back on a bike again, when the weather clears up and we get back to this kind of weather here, there won't be any voiceovers, alright? It'll be strictly me talking while I ride. I have not had good luck with mics here lately, so I finally buckled down and got me the DJI Mini, which seems to be a great microphone. So we'll get that out and repping soon, alright? Sorry about that, got a phone call. But I'm gonna quiet down here a little bit and let you guys just enjoy the rip. And I'll come back in here in a little bit. Talk about some more stuff. So, as we're cruising out here, we are, just remember, we're actually heading out to this place called Birch Lake, and it's out of town. It's a good little rip, though. Some good corners out there, and then there's also some good straightaways where we can get some rolls in here and there. I got extra videos that I can post up later of, like, just little shorts that'll be clips of us doing that, but yeah, big thing is working on just getting some more content out there, alright? I'll keep on posting some content. It may not be like strictly current content, but we will get more stuff put out. And then it'll be a mixture between Ducati V4 content, CBR content, and then I think I still have a couple pieces from the S1000 that we can throw out also. And then obviously on top of that, we can, if you keep up with me on Instagram and TikTok, and both of those are 515 Ducati V4, I throw up little spits and things there too. But yeah, I'm just trying to give you guys content, trying to find that niche. So as you guys watch this, and if there's anything that you guys would like to see, you know, out of my content in general, you know, put it in the comments, and that way I can work on getting you more content that you want to see, alright? Big thing is I'm here for you guys and want you to enjoy the stuff I'm putting out, okay? With that being said, just be patient with the audio. Some of the content, I was having issues with the video, the way the camera was placed. So, you know, I ask you to be gentle and patient with me, because the V4 content is going to be a lot clearer, better. Because I got a new camera, a better location put on from chin mounts. This current camera that I'm rolling with right now is on the Honda here. I'm rolling is can't think of it right now, but that camera that everyone has, GoPro. There we go. Yeah, rolling the GoPro here. Recently just switched over to the 360, so I think that video comes in clearer. Plus the way I got it, the way I got it mounted is a lot better also. So yeah, we'll keep doing that, and then obviously I gotta continue to work on my editing skills as well, because the edits aren't super fancy great, but they're a work in progress. My channel's a work in progress, my Instagram is a work in progress, my TikTok's a work in progress. So we'll get this stuff built up, and we'll just continue to make it better and better as time goes by. But as you can tell, as we're rolling right now, one thing with Alaska that is just frustrating as all is, obviously we get like -40, -50 up here, and that's without a wind chill. So weather starts to get kind of nice around May, and that's when we get back out. But we only get May, June, July, August, some of September, maybe a day or two in October, and then the weather just goes swooping downhill. But backing up, when we get a ride in May, June, and July, we're looking at like 24 hours of daylight. So those rips are always a blast. But as you can see, the roads here, so the thing they do up here in Alaska is, since it gets so cold, it's really harsh on the roads. So the minute they get a chance to start doing construction and the roads unfreeze, instantly every known road in the entire interior, which is where I'm located, they start magically repairing or doing whatever. So when we go on these rips, when spring hits, we tend to go out. We don't rip as fast, so we can relearn the roads and see where they're doing construction and where they're doing all that. Because as you saw, that last spot was probably a good mile's worth of chewed up asphalt. So obviously with our sport bike tires, not necessarily meant for off-roading, but yeah, we just got to watch out for those areas, those construction areas, because they tear this town up as soon as it gets nice. You'll also notice on another note here, when I ride, I try to keep my distance. Like if I'm in the front, I'll pull out, but if I'm behind a group or behind 2 or 3 guys, I keep my distance. I don't want to be right up on them just in case they have to make a sudden stop. Because another issue up here is moose, so we really got to be mindful of moose up here. And I don't know, like, I know if you're down in lower 48, think of deer, well then add about another 200 pounds, and yeah, it's worse than hitting a brick wall if you hit a moose, I'm telling you. Those things are brutal, they're mean, and they get pissed off real quick. So summer's not too bad. Like I said, obviously we got that 24 hours of daylight, so depending on where we're at, the bikes are loud enough that they'll stay on the side of the road and not really run out. But that 24 hours of daylight, I mean, we'll go for like midnight rips and 1 a.m. rips, and it looks just like as you see in the video right now. So right now we're pulling into Birch Lake. This is one area where a lot of people in town will come out and they'll bring their boats out to the lake. There's a bunch of lake houses and all that stuff. This is a public lake. Go up the road, you know, I don't know, probably another 5 miles, and then there's another lake up there, but that's military access only. So being retired military with the blue ID, I can get in there. But yeah, we're gonna sit here and chill and smoke and joke a little bit, and probably just look at ending the video here. But again, make sure you guys like and subscribe. All right, let's get the subscriptions up here. Let's keep the channel building, and we'll go from there. All right, so have a good night. 515 Ducati V4. Talk to you next time.